We'll do it live. We're going to try and get this broadcast back on the road. Mason Houseman is coming out of turn 4 now to claim stage number 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and that will be a caution. ATVO seems to be holding for now, and I will knock on wood. We did some stuff in the background as Jason Bottoms gets the outside wall. But we're hoping that this broadcast can get back on the road and finish this season off on a high note. Mason Houseman now has swept the stages, so we'll talk to him here in just a moment. There was a great battle between himself and Johnny Wood Jr. for a while until Brendan Maddox got up there and moved the 75 car out of the way, pulled Johnny Wood Jr. back and out of the fight, and left Mason Houseman to sweep the stages and collect a bunch of bonus points. This is already looking like a Mason Houseman kind of night, Zach, unless something happens.
That it is. He has been on attack mode all race long. That's 20 points to his name in this race alone. That's just in the stages. And if I'm doing my math correctly, which I surely hope I am, Johnny Wood Jr. has lost another 5 extra points to Mason Houseman's lead. So it is win and Houseman finish in the back. And even then, I think Mason Houseman has this championship locked up. He has been absolutely on point. I think he has garnered enough points to push himself in front and realistically lock down this title.
Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see, but Mason Houseman will lead the charge down the pit lane. Everybody's going to come on in and take service. Now, there are 6, count them, 6 sets of change sets. Sorry, 6 change sets, there we go, in the pit lane of tires. At least to start this race off. They've used 1 set now in stage 1. They'll use another here in stage 2. And they should just have to make 1 more pit stop to the end. So plenty of tires to go around in case we end up in a late race caution kind of scenario. But it's been clean and green so far this evening as everybody here is in the pit lane. And Mason Houseman should easily win the race off of pit road. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Jax will drop.
Oh, we got
it's
one car
be...
coming now.
Buzzio was close. Camper was close. But it's still Mason Houseman first off the pit lane. So we will dial up driver 78 and have a chat with your stage 1 and stage 2 winner, Mason Houseman, who leads him out of the pit lane. Mason, clearly the car is fast, so that question is answered. But how good do you feel now that you've netted all these stage points?
I feel pretty good. I got a gap, but I know how racing works, and anything can happen in this 3rd stage. You know, I could get wrecked out. I could just completely fall off on tires. So, you know, I got a good gap and cushion between Johnny, especially right now with these cars in front of me, and also with the points. But I know I'm just keeping my head high and just gonna keep pushing through.
And how about that battle with Johnny Wood Jr. there for a while until Brendan Maddox came up and sucked him back and pulled him out of the fight?
Oh, it was a fun battle. You know, I was telling my team, I was like, ooh, this might end up in one of us getting into the wall. And I think Johnny and I did get up in the wall there for a second, but I apologize for it immediately. But it was a good battle. I think inside prevailed there a little bit. But yeah, hopefully it happens again so we can keep giving you guys good entertainment.
Do you think if he got to you and could race you with no outside influence from the 8 car, do you think you're in trouble? Do you think he has something for you, or do you feel confident on the long run?
Johnny definitely's got short run speed. I would 100% agree with that, but I feel like I have the long run speed. For the chase contenders, Camper is really good at tire saving. I mean, we saw him come back through the pack there. So I would say Camper is one to watch out for right now. But for playoff drivers, I would say that I have the long run speed.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Mason. Congratulations on the stage 1 and stage 2 win. Best of luck here in stage 3.
Thank you, boys.
As Mason Houseman with the stage wins, Zach, and clearly he's feeling pretty good. That Limitless Esports car has been the best on the racetrack through the first couple of stages, the first 100 laps of this race. It's been a bizarre kind of evening for us here at Pit Stop TV, but it would not be possible still without the help from the Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Idealies, and Sundance Pizza that goes into this series. Without them, this broadcast, this race this season would not have been possible in any way, shape, or form. And as we take a choose here, it's just worth thanking everybody one more time for being involved in this series and giving us this opportunity.
That it is. Always appreciative of everyone that contributes to amazing races like this. And I will say, Andrew, even though we've had a few of our struggles tonight, the racing itself, just to recap, has been absolutely amazing. And the fact that they've run green for so long is still great to see. We have not had a caution on the racetrack that has been at the fault of drivers. They've only been the 2-stage cautions tonight. So a relatively tame race that's happened so far. And yeah, we still got 95 laps left to run when we see this green flag for stage number 3. And so many different storylines still throughout the field. There's still so much left on the table with what we've got going on tonight.
I want to take a look at what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV briefly. Tomorrow night we're in action at Daytona International Speedway with the SimRap Market Series, kicking off their new season of racing. Then Sunday it's out right back here actually to Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Roval for the Icon Cup Series on October 13th. And then next week, Monday and Tuesday, we've got action from Myrtle Beach Speedway. We'll talk more about that shortly.
You're hiding the goods for me with a silver car.
Yeah, well, we've got that coming and more, but let's go into stage number 3 here. We are going to kick this thing off with Mason Houseman, the race leader. Green flag is back in the air at Charlotte. And a bad restart for Dakota Camper is going to stack up the entire outside lane. That brings Buzzio, Hughes, and Johnny Wood Jr. up several positions and now fighting on the inside of the 3-car.
Had to be a mischief for Dakota Camper because he dropped back ever so far down the running order. That allowed Buzzio and Hughes to clear on the inside line. They were both up at the front of the field and chose the bottom. Didn't think it would work out for him that well, but hey, outside line stacks up. Now they get single file. Johnny Wood Jr. clears Dakota Camper. And now Mason Houseman, once again, setting sights out in front. They're 3 wide behind, back to 2. As Wolfsburg and Maddox are side by side.
That was Patinko, Dorsey, Renner, and Bottoms all 3 wide out of turn 4. We'll let them do their battle as things get heated up front. Houseman leading, then Buzzio, Hughes, and Johnny Wood Jr., your top 4. All chase drivers in the top 4. Dakota Camper is the only driver in the top 5 that is not fighting for a championship this evening. And Zach, you've done some math behind the scenes. Where does the 75 stand in relation to that 78 car?
Ask me in 5 minutes. I'm working on it.
still tabulating the scores from stages 1 and 2 as here goes Johnny Wood Jr. to the outside of Jared Hughes. This is an important pass. A lot of short run speed. Mason even acknowledged it. A lot of short run speed in the 75 car. He's got to use it at the same time. He's got to be prepared to go for a long run here for 100 laps potentially in stage number 3. He gets on by that 98 car and they start to fight behind him. Here goes Dakota Camper to the outside. He'll pass Jared Hughes. Brendan Maddox will work on it as well. Maddox has been about as fast as we've ever seen him this evening. He has been on it from the get-go. And it's been a lot of fun to watch along the way. He slides into 5th place for now. And I think he has his sights set right back on that top 3 one more time.
Okay. Math is done. Don't quote me on it. I really I'm trying to work it out as they fight for second, but not factoring in position, Johnny Wood Jr. sits 13 points behind Mason Houseman. 13 points factoring in the stage points. He was 4 down at the start of the race. He collected, what was it? Oh my goodness. He collected 5 stage points in stage 2, and he collected, I believe, 4 points in stage 1. There was a lot to work with there, I will say for a fact. It's still a little mind-boggling. He collected 6 points in stage 1, excuse me. So 5 and 6, that's 11, plus the 4 that he was down. So that's 15, excuse me. He's 15 points down, not factoring in position. If you want to go with on-track position, He's running second, so he's 16 points down. So Andrew, Mason Hausman has to finish 14th or better to win the championship.
Caution.
And caution on the speedway.
The first time tonight, Evan Patinko is around in turn 3 with a lot of damage to his Sealmaster, number 81. Uh-oh. Big problems there for that Ford Mustang Dark Horse. He's got a lot of damage, suspension damage as well.
Yeah, he is absolutely killed on that race car. It is crab walking down the straightaway. Runs it high out of turn number 2. Oh my goodness, Jason Bottoms gets into him. So Bottoms with damage on that race car as well, and then Patinko just loses it going into 3. Was not able to keep a handle on that race car.
Wash that back again. On board with car 81. Got the apron, push up the racetrack. Hits the wall hard. Tried to keep it in the fence. Bottoms got into him. When he pulls the car off the wall, he notices just how damaged it is, and oh my gosh, big hit.
Just loses it.
I think some of that was frustration.
You know, I want to say good job on Evan Patinko for keeping that car in the wall, because a lot of times when drivers hit the wall, they will bounce off and come back down across and take someone out. Unfortunately, someone got taken out in it, but at the same time, you can't put a lot of blame on Evan there, because he got into the apron and hit the wall at a bad spot. That's right where you see it. Jason Bottoms gets his corner exit. That's where drivers finish their corner. So it's really hard to miss, but oh wow, that right front's completely disconnected on that 57 car. Thankfully though, these drivers have a fast fix, and looks like Bottoms and Patinko will be able to get those cars back on the racetrack. And I would like to say, it seems like it's becoming a bit of an inside joke now. When I had the reins a little bit, Andrew, in the early start of this race, I mistakenly called Jason Bottoms. I called him Jared Bottoms. So now it seems to be becoming an inside joke. Even drivers are making that dissertation as well, and it's also apparent in our YouTube chat as well.
Hey, everybody's going to misspeak every once in a while, but Jared Bottoms, as you put it, in trouble there. Oh, man. Well, we've got a long ways to go. Long ways to go here in this race. I want to circle back to the schedule for this season. This is race 18 of 18. We did not have coverage for Daytona, Richmond, Texas, New Hampshire, Chicago, Atlanta, Kentucky, or Iowa. We picked up at Indianapolis on August 6th, and we have carried on with these guys all the way through Sans Martinsville. Of course, Martinsville last week we were impacted by Hurricane Helene here in North Carolina. And while we had it good, we were without internet there for a few days, and it hindered our ability to broadcast for a handful of days. Of course, there are plenty of ways to support the cause and support those affected by Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, northern Georgia, and South Carolina. And boy, do they need your help. If you are able to donate, I urge you to look into how you can. There's plenty of ways to do so through the Red Cross, Team Rubicon, and other organizations. I certainly do urge everybody to look into how they might be able to support those affected by Hurricane Helene, and soon those affected by Hurricane Milton that is headed towards Florida. If you are in Florida, somewhere in an evacuation zone, and you haven't evacuated yet, there might still be just enough time to get out. Otherwise, you need to stay put and be ready for what is coming. It's going to be a rough one. On a better note, though, Zach, we will try and keep the weather for the weather folk, and keep the racing here on screen.
You say weather folk, but race car drivers are weathermen at the same time. we don't talk about rain around the racetrack.
Yeah, but there's professionals, and we'll leave the weather conversation to the professionals for the evening, as these guys are going to choose. Let's take a look at what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV properly this time, with a little more time to do so.
Lord.
And
I don't know if I should be looking at what's upcoming for the races, or if I should be looking at those amazing paint schemes from Cody Williams' design. Wow.
Yeah, Cody Williams has hooked us up here at Pit Stop TV. You can see just how flashy these cars look, and will be in action tomorrow night from Daytona International Speedway for October the 9th. It'll be the SimRap Market Series at 7:45 Eastern. Then we're off to, well, right back here at Charlotte. I keep saying we're off to somewhere, but we're right back here at Charlotte, actually, on October 13th with the Icon Cup Series, but on the Roval.
Turning right.
That's right, turning left and right. And finally, October 15th, we've got feature racing for the Sim Auto Racing Association 1/8 Racing Media National Tour as they head to Myrtle Beach Speedway, not so far from here in Charlotte. But Myrtle Beach Speedway, which has since been closed down, it's the Myrtle Beach 400. Late model stock cars, street stocks, mini stocks in action. Going to be 250 laps of feature racing action at the Myrtle Beach 400. You've got to tune in and catch that one. But here we go. Back around to the Geico restart zone to get this race back underway with 116 complete. This time by looking to complete the next 84. Green flag is back in the air at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Everybody clamoring to get to the inside line. Look at that. Everybody wants to get down on that white and blue line.
Johnny Wood Jr. wasted no time putting that car inside and trying to find his way around Mason Hausman. Like I said, Andrew, Mason Hausman needs to finish about 14th to lock this championship up. Currently sitting big time out in front of Johnny Wood Jr. So nothing short of a miracle to end this race would help out. Stephen Borbell, by the way, got the free pass under that caution. Now back to one lap down. Wolsifer, you saw him on the back bumper of Brendan Maddox. Those two continue to fight it out for that fourth spot as they get single filed out majority through the field. We focus forward. Johnny Wood Jr., Mason Hausman, the fight for the lead, the fight for the championship. But I don't know, Andrew, I do not see Mason Hausman giving this race up just short of anything but a wreck.
It's going to take a lot to unseat Mason Hausman for sure as Wolsifer pushes Maddox into turn one. They both go by Adam Buzzio in the 5 car. That's a pass made. 2 passes made really into turn one. Buzzio now fights back on the outside lane. We'll let the top 2 do their thing and run some laps and cover everything else happening as Buzzio runs high into turns 3 and 4. Keeps it off the outside wall just. And will continue to fight on the outside of Wolsifer.
Larson line, as a lot of iRacers like to refer to it as. You get right up there against the wall, and look at Evan Patinko. He goes purple after getting involved in a little bit of an incident off of turn number 2, not too many laps to go. We look on board with Adam Buzzio, trying to find a way around Richard Wolsifer for that 4th spot. Buzzio, one of the drivers who was in the championship battle. At this point, though, Andrew, considering the stage points, mathematically, Buzzio also eliminated from the fight. He was well further back, 15 points back to be specific. So now, Mason Hausman has garnered enough points with drivers that are in the field already that the only driver mathematically eligible still to fight him for this championship is running in the 2nd spot.
So Johnny Wood Jr., the only driver eligible at this point to fight for the championship against Mason Hausman. Whoa, Zachary Maddox out to the outside wall. I think he just clipped it. Now Carl Pooler gets it. These guys are getting all up in the outside fence. Out of turn 4 into turn 1. And oh, Maddox gets the fence now. Brendan Maddox this time gets the outside wall. I mean, they are all up on the outside wall here. The safer barrier at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is getting hairy.
Carl Pooler got a run after hitting the wall off of turn number 2. That was something. Oh, into the chicane. Jumps the grass. Keeps it rolling. We're still green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Wolsifer thought that it was the Icon Cup Series on Sunday night and put that car into the Roval front stretch chicane. Keeps it rolling, and he did a bounce while he was at it.
Unbelievable scenes here in the opening quarter of stage 3. We're coming right up on lap 125 to make it 75 to go. Let's go on board with Wolsifer as he's back in the Hornet's Nest now, right behind Jamie Plord. You see Renner up ahead in that blue car, and Brendan Maddox as well, directly. Actually, that's Dakota Camper directly ahead. And one car on the outside, that's Carl Pooler. That's a teammate to Wolsifer. Pooler gets the wall. little bit of side-by-side contact there for what is now the 8th position. They're all over the place.
This racing is all over the place, Andrew. These drivers are not holding anything back right now.
On board with Cody Dorsey, sitting behind all of it. You see Buttkicker on his windshield, Zachary Maddox up on the top side, Carl Pooler up there a couple of rows up, Richard Wolsifer down on the bottom side of Zachary Maddox. Everything has gone chaotic here in stage 3. Meanwhile, Dakota Camper is firing through this field. He's up to 3rd spot, fighting on the outside of Brendan Maddox.
Side by side, down the front straightaway they go. Maddox on the inside, Camper on the outside. The runs on the top seem to be really good tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Camper is going to take advantage of it, clear for the 3rd spot. Now, sights set forward on Houseman and Johnny Wood Jr., who are side by side for the race lead. They were at first. Johnny Wood Jr. falls back in line. We saw Buzzio almost get into the bumper of Brendan Maddox.
Oh, he got there.
I think he started, singular, I mean plural, everybody has dialed up the intensity in this final stage. Jason Bottom's in the wall.
Buzzio might have just grabbed the fence that time off of turn 2. Nearing 80 laps to go, and there's a fight to the inside again. Dakota Camper this time. They're both white cars. They look identical from the back end. This time it's Dakota Camper on the inside of Johnny Wood Jr. I think he's getting tired of these drivers that are outside of the championship fight getting up here and challenging him, because if he could just go to work on the 78 car, I think he's got something. But somebody every run has to come up here and get to his inside, and I think he's getting frustrated.
You can't let frustration get the best of you, Andrew, though. It's one thing a lot of race car drivers struggle with. It's being patient. You're like, oh, I'm faster than him now. I think I can go get him. I think I can get there. I think I can just get my car out in front, and maybe I'm going to be faster than him and pull away. But no. No. We still got over 70 laps of racing as they get 3 wide, 2 rows deep. How about this racing, Andrew?
The whole field is stacked up right now. All 16 cars very close together. Stephen Borbell is kind of the one exception, but he's still with this field, despite being that lap down. And here we go for the race lead. Dakota Camper swerves the outside lane.
Looks like Dakota Camper has been one of the better long-run cars.
He's got
for
it.
the first time tonight, Andrew, we have a new leader off of turn number 2. Dakota Camper takes the lead from Mason Hausman.
Lead change for the first time all evening long, and Camper's going to pull away. Car 3 out front at Charlotte. That's the way it's meant to be, right?
That's what I'll say.
Dakota Camper.
How many times you see Dale Earnhardt absolutely tear it up here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, seeing that 3 represented, and you've made the comment before, Andrew, if you're running the number 3, you have to run that font. You have to, out of respect and honor for that 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, Dale Earnhardt.
It's just the coolest looking 3 I've ever seen. I can't think of a better looking number 3 that I've seen in any facet, any kind of situation. But there is a battle back here between Buttkicker and Renner. Renner on the outside, Buttkicker on the inside, then Carl Pooler. So the top 5 get single file, then the battle is 6th on back. Buttkicker, after his issues, is coming back and really showing these guys what for. He has got a decent piece underneath him. Just needs to be able to use it. Oh, he's going to hit Renner into turn 3. Renner hangs on, but goes up the racetrack and in the outside wall.
I don't think Renner's going to be too happy about that one from M. Buttkicker. Buttkicker apologetic over the radio as Ford hits the wall.
Here comes Pooler on the inside of Buttkicker.
Looks like Renner's not exactly the happiest camper in the world, but another camper is still out in front, leading the 5-car breakaway from this pack that we've been watching the whole time. Pooler still on the inside of M. Buttkicker. You see Renner now trying to punch his way back forward. How about Dorsey in that 12 car? We haven't really seen him up inside the top 10.
Out of the race lead. Mason Houseman right back to the inside, playing the long game, has those tires to outlast the 3 car, and drives right back around Dakota Camper for the race lead. That is expertise at its finest. I mean, this guy is just the best here in the series. I think that's fair to say at this point. He has just got them covered. But there's still a ways to go for the championship as Wood gets the wall.
Yeah, Mason Houseman has pretty much got it on lock right now, Andrew. This guy has been impressive all season long. From the time that we've been following the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, Johnny Wood Jr. goes for a look on the inside of Dakota Camper to take second away. These guys have been on point. We saw really a resurgence of Johnny Wood Jr. He started trekking forward at Eldora. We saw a lot of great things that he tried to do to put himself in championship contention. Like you said, last week he took the win at Martinsville and was able to put himself in striking distance of the championship. Obviously, not the night he's wanted so far tonight. He's led laps, therefore, but the stage points have mounted in favor of Mason Houseman and has put the 78 car out in front further than I think Johnny Wood Jr. would have liked to seen. So, all around, great season from Johnny Wood Jr., but he's going to need a miracle, like we said, Andrew, to put this championship in his favor.
We're closed again on pit stops. Eventually they'll have to pit, and I'd imagine they pit somewhere around halfway through this 3rd stage, as there's battles in the background, but we stay up here for 2nd position between Camper and Wood. You can see just how far away the top 5 have gotten, by the way. Houseman, Camper, Wood, Buzzio, Maddox have driven away from Carl Pooler and the rest. And Johnny Wood Jr. is right on that back bumper of the 3 car. I mean, he was there through the quad oval.
Gonna get to his inside right here. Just comes up. Oh, Buzzio in the wall.
Oh, man. The way these guys just beat and bang on that outside wall, they are not afraid.
They are not, but at the same time, you know, these steel bodies, these rigid cars with, you know, the, oh my goodness, what is it? Composite bodies, that's what it is.
I was going to say, these are no longer the steel bodies. Yeah, these are...
No, they're not steel body cars. They're composite body. They've been composite for a few years now. But the big thing that I wanted to mention, I wanted to mention it early on in the broadcast. I completely forgot about it. You know, you see these drivers running up on the top side and how close they get together. And when they're running side by side, that car up top can get loose and somewhat spin around. It's so hard to catch with these cars now with the racket pinion steering. When the car shifts right and you go to correct it, it just wants to snap. So to see these guys and the car controller they've had tonight, other than the fact of putting the right side of the wall, like we're about to see with, I think that was Evan Patinko, it's been really nice to see with how good they've been able to keep a handle on these race cars.
"60 laps to go." We watch the 2nd group of cars around the speedway. Mason Houseman leads the 1st group down back straightaway now. And he's worked himself out to nearly a half-second lead over Camper. This top 5 getting away from 6th place. Making it look easy for sure is car 78 and the rest of the top 5, especially Houseman, though. The way he drove right back by Camper in the 3 after Camper commandingly took that race lead away. Impressive stuff from the 78 for sure, as the battle has fizzled out for 2nd place. Camper holding on to it on the outside lane. Johnny Wood Jr. trying to work the bottom. This is one of the few places we go, Zach, that really strings the field out while still being multi-lane. A lot of places you go that are intermediate tracks with this next-gen car, this Gen 7, a lot of intermediate tracks will bunch the field up almost like a pack race, almost like a drafting race. But here at Charlotte, it really strings everybody out while still being multi-groove. You can run the top side like Camper is. You can run the middle like Johnny Wood Jr. did there into turn 1, or you can run the bottom like Buzzio and Maddox continue to do behind them. So you've got options. You can go left, right, center, all across this racetrack and find success.
That you can. There is so much on the table wherever you are on this racetrack. That's one of the reasons I love this facility. It's one of the reasons I'm sure you love this facility as well, Andrew. There's not really anywhere on this track that hasn't aged perfectly. The asphalt on this track is a lot more aged than a few of the other surfaces in the NASCAR schedule. So it provides a lot of the great racing. That's what race car drivers like. Aged asphalt always seems to bring out some great racing. And this next-gen car has, I guess, hit the nail on the head when it comes to mile-and-a-half racing. So we get to see all the great things unfold as Carl Pooler in that Limitless Esport car is trying to hang on to position here. Actually, I think he's trying to pass Jared Hughes.
No, he is trying to hang on to 6th. Jared Hughes trying to take the spot away. And Hughes has been very impressive this evening. Had a great run earlier in Stage 1. Kind of fell off the face of the world there for just a little bit in Stage 2. But it's been a lot of fun to watch so far this evening. And you see right behind him, Stephen Borbell in that 2 car. He's still a lap down, but he is on just slightly better tires after that caution we saw mid-stage. And he's flying through this field. He could get his lap back the hard way somehow if he's able to get up to that 78 car, unlap himself. Regardless, he's showing he's got speed. He's eliminated from the championship, but he's got speed if he can just get back on the lead lap.
That he does.
He might try and pass these two.
I know Borbell has probably been very frustrated with how this race has gone. There were multiple times that he could have gotten the free pass. Realistically speaking, Dakota Bly went a lap down in Stage 1 and in Stage 2, which took away the free pass from Stephen Borbell twice. And he had to do a pit stop right then and there afterwards because he was going to run out of fuel. So there were 2 times that he could have gotten laps back, and now he's still sitting 1 lap down after the caution with Evan Cinco, which he was hoping could have come out a lot sooner than it did. So, coulda, shoulda, woulda for so many different scenarios tonight for Stephen Borbell. And it's really effectively taken him out of the championship running.
Well, he gets clear of Pooler there for no position gain, but he at least gets by the 71 car and can focus up now on Jared Hughes and try to get that bit of real estate. Going to go to the outside lane here in 1 and 2.
How about another fight on the racetrack, Andrew? Jimmy Plord and Zachary Maddox, they're pretty close together coming off of turn number 2. You see Nicholas Renner hitting the wall behind. It's probably the closest fight on the racetrack at the moment between Maddox and Plord. See Plord go all the way up to the top. Oh, he might have tapped the wall right there.
Well, he holds Maddox at bay for another corner at the very least. Holds this 33 car back just a little bit longer as Jason Bottoms has hit the pit lane.
That's unexpected.
Here he is leaving the pit lane, just took service a little bit early.
Jared Hughes just called out that he's hitting the pit lane.
And I mean, this is right on the money, actually, right at halfway through the stage. So this actually makes sense. As Hughes is going to have problems coming in, a little sideways, Wolsifer also comes in.
This is where the tire strategy is going to start to come into play. When these drivers figure out whether or not their strategy will work for them, personally, I would run it out. I don't know about you, Andrew, but I would run this one out. I've made so many different comments on so many different broadcasts saying that short pitting is a good way to go, but I've also been a big advocate for running it out. I know you have too. I think this is one of the races that you need to run it out.
I think you want to stay on the racetrack as long as you can. You'll fire back with better tires later on, and this is one of those racetracks where you actually can make passes. You can get position on somebody and use that to get by the other cars. So unless you're stuck behind a double file battle, it's going to be relatively easy to pass compared to other intermediates on the schedule. I agree. I think this is somewhere you run it out, stay on the racetrack as long as you can, and have better tires later on. Maybe not as long as you can, but at least a little bit longer. You don't want to be the first one to pit lane in this case. And usually, I would actually argue it's better to be 1 or 2 laps early because you can use that immediate boost from those tires. Tonight, I think it's a little bit different.
We continue to look on now. Mason Hausman leading the charge. Dakota Camper and Johnny Wood Jr. now are closing in on each other in the fight for second place. In reality, it's the fight to be the best of the rest because Mason Hausman is now setting sail and away. He's just about 6/10 in front. Call it 7 in front of Dakota Camper. Oh, man. You just had to pick the best camera angle to use right now. This is my favorite camera angle from the Whiplash SimCams group that we have for Charlotte Motor Speedway, which, by the way, are free for Whiplash SimCams here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I love this camera angle. It's the best one that you see. You see it on television, too. Andrew does a great job with Whiplash SimCams and being able to replicate these amazing camera shots. So I love taking it all in. You can see so much in this battle between Dakota Camper and Johnny Wood Jr. as we still roll through with more pit stops hopefully underway soon. I wonder when we'll see these two coming into the pit lane.
Well, here comes
Hausman.
Hausman's going to pit. That's going to leave Camper and Wood on the racetrack, at least for now. So about 5 laps late, Mason Hausman comes in. And I think that's going to bring these two to the pit lane very, very soon. That kind of is the big domino to fall as Johnny Wood Jr. gets to the inside of Dakota Camper. This would keep Camper on the racetrack at least one more lap.
I wonder if Johnny Wood Jr. plays 100% skill right now and goes to the pit lane while Dakota Camper is on his outside. That would have been one heck of a move, I will say.
Ooh.
Oh, pinches him to the grass.
And now a battle for the race lead properly as Johnny Wood Jr. surges ahead for a moment. There goes the Pastor Appreciation Day, number 3, right back on by. Dakota Camper still on the outside lane trying to hang on. Johnny Wood Jr. still on the bottom, and these guys now waiting for some kind of caution maybe. Camper comes and shuts the door.
See, now this is where strategy starts to come into play, Andrew, because with them fighting, as we see Brendan Maddox on pit road, Mason Hausman's on fresher tires, way fresher tires, so when they battle, he closes in that much quicker. So they might actually be at a further deficit once they end up in the pit lane. You see Maddox coming off the pit lane now. He's going to hit the bloodline. There's Hausman.
Meanwhile, for the race lead, these two stay on the racetrack just a little bit longer. When do they pit?
I like the call, though. They haven't been leading that much, so do something else. Try something different.
It'll be 41 laps to go this time by both. Oh, here we go.
Johnny
Pit
Wood
stop,
Jr.
finally. Johnny Wood Jr. is going to come on in. That's going to leave the 3 on the racetrack, and that's going to hurt the 3. Because even if he pits this next lap, Johnny Wood Jr. is going to have better laps or better tires for a lap. That should make the pass for Johnny Wood Jr.
Heating the tires is the big thing there.
That's the difficult part of this pit strategy, right? You wait so you can have better tires at the end, but you're going to lose in the short term.
That you will. But 40 laps still left to run. And with these guys on what is more than likely their final pit stop of the race, barring a green light checker finish, we see Carl Pooler in the pit lane as well. This is what's going to be the move. This is what's going to allow them to gain the track position. There's Mason Hausman going on by. And he's going to pass up Johnny Wood Jr. to put himself realistically as the race leader. I say that though. Adam Buzzio is out in front of Mason Hausman and in front of Steven Borbell. Did he go a lap down by going in? Did he make a pit stop or did he just go a lap down naturally?
He made a pit stop. He pitted 4 laps earlier than Hausman.
Whoa.
That's just the amount of fall off. I mean, the last lap for Dakota Camper was a 31.1. If you recall, the fastest laps of the evening have been 29.8s. That's a big drop off.
That it is. There you see Adam Buzzio in the background catching Dakota Camper to get his lap back the hard way, as race car drivers like to refer to it. But it lies another point with you, Andrew. These drivers are losing more and more time the longer they stay out on the racetrack. So this is going to end up hurting the 3 even further, because if Buzzio gets his lap back now, then realistically speaking, wouldn't that put Dakota Camper, if I'm not mistaken, wouldn't that put him around being close to a lap down, realistically, after he filters out?
Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. And I think you and I might have been wrong. I think the play was to pit early.
Yeah, but 4 lap fresher tires, though. Let's do a little comparison here, right? Buzzio just hit the line. So let's call it a 30-14 from that 5 car. Mason Hausman, 30-04.
That's tenths, though, compared to seconds that he's got. I mean, the gap between them is 2.7 seconds. And now Buzzio unlaps himself from the 3. If a caution were to come out now as well, that would completely throw a wrench in things. Buzzio would be on the lead lap, able to pit. Mason Hausman would be a lap down and have to take the wave around, the lucky dog, and then have to start from the rear of the field. There is just a lot on the line here. I think the pit early was probably the right call. Maybe not by a huge number of laps, but by 4 laps, I don't think is all that detrimental. I mean, you got nearly 3 seconds of a gap. Granted, he's starting to eat into it. I don't know. Granted,
he's eating into it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
He turned to 29.95.
That last lap was good.
It was a 30.36. We're keeping track, though. That's another 30.36 in clean air for Adam Buzzio. Mason Hausman, faster again at 29.87.
This is Mason Hausman we're talking about.
I mean, he's eating into that lead, Andrew. Realistically, this is the fight for the lead, as we've got cars hitting the pit lane now. Dakota Camper slow in front of Hausman. That's going to be a big uh-oh for that 78 car.
Dorsey and Bly hit the pit lane there. And there's the gap in the bottom right to Johnny Wood Jr. Mason Hausman pitted 10 laps ago. Johnny Wood Jr. pitted 6 laps ago. 4 laps later. This could be a big move for Johnny Wood Jr. Hang on, because he's starting to eat into Mason Hausman's gap.
Dakota Bly and Cody Dorsey ended up in the pit lane. Dakota Camper now in the pit lane.
There you see car 3 in the pits.
Johnny Wood Jr. last time by was a 29.83. Mason Hausman a 30.13. Adam Buzzio a 30.32. As we watch on Dakota Camper, who might just go a lap down here, there you see Buzzio passing on by. This is what I was talking about, Andrew. He pretty much shot himself in the foot, realistically speaking.
He's going to sail back through the field, though. Let's see where he exits the pit lane. It'll be 7th, maybe 8th position. He's 7th now. Patinko closing. We'll make it 8th.
Wait a second. No. He had them a lap down. They passed him for position. Okay. I psyched myself. We're good.
He could fly back through the field, honestly. He's going to have 17 lap better tires than Adam Buzzio. 13 lap better tires than Mason Hausman. 9 lap better tires than Johnny Wood Jr. I don't know who's got the best seat. I really don't know who's in the best spot right now. Adam Buzzio's got a 1.1 second lead over Mason Hausman, and that is dwindling. Hausman is closing in as the laps wind down. And
30.28 for Buzzio.
If Buzzio can hold the 78 car up, Johnny Wood Jr. might be in this fight for the race win. Granted, in the grand scheme of things, for the championship, it's still Hausman all the way.
That it is. At the moment as it runs, Hausman still has the championship, and he was 2/10 quicker, a 30.05 last time by. Johnny Wood Jr., a 29.97 though. And then you've got Dakota Camper, 30.2. So everything's still on the table. I mean, we just crossed the line again, so a 30.38 compared to a 30.05. Almost half a second faster, nearly half a second faster. Johnny Wood Jr., though, a full 10th faster than Mason Hausman. So these three are really starting to close in on each other even more as these laps tick off. However, then you start to ask the question, just because you have better tires does that mean you can save them better? We saw Johnny Wood Jr. did not have the same long run pace as Mason Hausman.
Wait
so
a
this
minute.
could.
Johnny Wood Jr. took 2 tires?
Huh?
Sam Bumgarner in the chat is telling us Johnny Wood Jr. took 2 tires. And that's interesting.
No way.
He does have a shorter pit stop time. So look at the pit timer, bottom right. 12.07 seconds versus Mason Hausman's 14.62. That is crazy. And Hausman's going to take a stab here at the 5 car.
Johnny Wood Jr. was 2 tenths quicker than Mason Hausman last time by.
Yeah, and Hausman's going to take the race lead away from Buzzio easily. So that puts the 78 car in clean air.
Let's keep in mind, though, Dakota Camper has closed 2 seconds on the leaders.
He's still 11 seconds back with 27 laps to go.
Last time by, Johnny Wood Jr. a 30.16, 30.24 for Mason Hausman, and a 30.60 for Adam Buzzio. He's taking into that lead. He's trying his hardest.
I am blown away.
Who would have thought 2 tires would have been the move? That also gives him an extra set of left side tires, but realistically speaking, it's not going to be a worry. As it looked like Mason Hausman just flipped the wall back there.
I think he did, out of turn 2. Well, Johnny Wood Jr. is certainly going to have an opportunity here to pass Adam Buzzio, and I think Buzzio might let him have it. He let Hausman have it. 25 laps to go now in the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your top 3 in the championship. Change of hands between Buzzio and Johnny Wood Jr., and it'll be 1, 2, 3 as they run in the championship. It's about to happen here. Johnny Wood Jr. to the inside. Buzzio lets him go. We're free and clear.
The gap ahead now down to just a couple of tenths from Johnny Wood Jr. to Mason Hausman. There you see the 78 car in the 75's crosshairs.
Hold on a second.
But it's not going to be for enough points.
They get bonus points, don't they?
Yeah, but it's still not going to be enough. Hausman would have to finish somewhere south of 10th place. I mean, it's...
hold on a second. What are the bonus... Because math is mathing at the moment. So they get a bonus point for leading a lap, correct?
Don't consult me on that. I don't have the bonuses drilled into my head just yet, which is unfortunate. But I know they're on the Sim Racer Hub resource, as Jason Bottoms has to bid again here in this stage. He didn't have quite enough to make it looks like. But now you see Johnny Wood Jr. has stalled out a little bit. He got to Mason Hausman, has just stalled out right behind him. It's been that way all night long. He can get to the 78 car, but just can't get by. Oh, man. How frustrating has that got to be?
Frustration is more than likely an understatement.
To be able to get to somebody repeatedly and just not be able to pass them. Oh my gosh. 21 laps to go this time by for Mason Hausman, Johnny Wood Jr., and Adam Buzzio out front of the field, pacing the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series at Charlotte. And Johnny Wood Jr. lost that lap. Was about a tenth slower, and these guys have already trailed down to 30.5s, 30.6s. By the way, Johnny Wood Jr., that lap was slower than Adam Buzzio.
So, bonus points. 1 for pole position, 1 for led 1 or more laps, and then 1 point for led the most laps. So that's 3 extra bonus points that realistically are going to Mason Hausman. And I don't want to completely take anything away at the moment, but Andrew, if we factor in the stage points, we factor in the bonus points, and we factor in how many drivers are currently in the field right now, I think we are currently looking at a locked-up championship by Mason Hausman with 20, call it now, 19 laps to go, because he got pole position, he's led the most laps, and he has led at least one lap. So that was the 3 extra bonus points that he needed, because he was already 14 out in front.
So what you're telling me is there might not
We're
be a
looking at our
chance.
champion.
Well, that kind of sucks a little bit of the fun out of it, but hey, there's still a chance, I'm going to say. It's not over until it's over. We don't have the exact scores, the exact tabulations. I trust your math, but who knows? As we work closer to 15 laps to go, Mason Hausman with the race lead and the championship lead. We know right now he would win the championship, so we can go off of that. He has just mounted so many points tonight, swept the stages, bonus points galore, leading the race here with now 17 to go. As they run, we don't have to worry about it. He would be the champion.
Yeah, why are you going to tell me I'm sucking the fun out of this when he's leading the race and was already the leader coming into this race tonight, Andrew? I said it earlier today. I'm going to say it again. The only thing he needed to do was finish in front of everybody, and that's what he's doing. We have really, I think all we've been witnessing tonight has been the Mason Hausman show. He's put on a clinic. He's been absolutely dominant this entire time. Nobody's been able to pass him for long. I think the only person that really got in front of him was Dakota Camper. And even then, he didn't stay in front for long. Not to mention, if we want to bring up Dakota Camper, he's closed in another 3 seconds. He's 7 seconds back now. He's up inside the top 5. He's rolling much faster laps than Mason Hausman. But it falls into the point that I made previously. Johnny Wood Jr. is on fresher tires. Well, half of his tires on fresher tires, apparently. And now he's dropping back. You got to manage these tires, Andrew. Just because you have the speed does not mean it will last forever.
Oh, Hausman got the wall that time, just barely. Just got up there and kissed it. 15 to go that last time by. I think it's all but decided unless we have a caution. There is another group of cars that are close together. Carl Pooler, Zachary Maddox, Nicholas Renner. They're close by. Evan Matinko's not far back. We could still have a caution flag. It's not over yet. Well, if you like what you've seen thus far, there we go. You can join the BRB Racing League. Join these guys for season number 3. It's coming up soon. More information available on social media and in their league Discord channel. If you're interested and you don't know how to join, send us a comment, a message, whatever you got to do, and we'll get you in touch with Adam Buzzio and company to join this series for season 3. Zach, some of your friends joined the league earlier this summer. The 10 Old Parent Racing Group, unfortunately, they're not here this evening, but Sean Lester, Andrew Tenold, Joshua Parent, those guys joined in. So that just shows you that we can get anybody, not anybody, but we can get people into this league and we can have some fun. It's been a lot of fun having all the different drivers that have joined. I know Isaiah Sutherland and Eric Jensen joined as a result of a post that we shared. You've just got to get in contact, and we can boost the numbers for this series for season 3. Go ahead.
These guys are such a great group of guys. They've been super upstanding, respectful with each other. Not to mention, they have been super appreciative since Pitstop TV hopped on board to cover their series with all the great partners that they have. Even Mason Hausman. Mason Hausman has probably been one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for here, integrated drivers into the Pitstop TV fold. He's even come on for a couple of broadcasts in the Icon Cup Series. He is always out here looking for any type of racing that he can do. And, you know, it's so great to see drivers wanting to be more involved and bring more attention to their racing series and bring more attention to really just this type of group, because it's just amazing.
Yeah, it was good to have Mason Houseman on for that broadcast at Bristol a couple of weeks ago for the Icon Cup Series, and to learn about these guys and become friends with a bunch of them. Every week there's a great conversation of some sort about the NASCAR Cup Series race and different football games and what's going on in the world. I mean, it's a great community in general in the BRB Racing League, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this season, and certainly I think big things are on the way for their third season of racing coming up very, very soon. Now, in the meantime, 9 laps remain here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It'll be 8 this time by. Jason Bottoms is tiptoeing right now. He doesn't want to go by these guys in a weird spot. He's got better tires right now, so he absolutely could go by them. He's a lapped car. He's 2 laps down, but he wants to play nicely with these guys, so I respect it. He doesn't want to get in the way of a fight for the race lead. He can see how close they are, doesn't want to interfere. I respect what's going on for car 57 here as he looks up at the 75 of Johnny Wood Jr., almost gives him a nudge. And speaking of that fight for the race win, Zach, Johnny has gotten closer. I don't know if I don't know if Jason's helping him or not, but he has gotten a little bit closer. He's still in the wake of that 78 car and being held back by that bubble of air. But he has closed in just a little bit.
Tag the wall right there a little bit.
I would love to see what would happen if Johnny Wood Jr. went to the outside lane for a couple of corners. Because if he could get to clean air and have downforce through the corner, I want to know what would happen. Maybe he was listening. He goes up higher this time in 1 and 2. Arcs back down on exit. Lost time that time, though, into turn 1. Mason Houseman gets the wall on exit, though. Here comes Johnny Wood Jr. with a run right back. 6 laps to go. Call it 5.5. And an attempt at a bump. An attempt at a bump and run. He gave him a shot there to turn 3. 5 laps to go in the season this time by.
This race is still heating up, Andrew. 5 laps to go. Bottoms waiting in the wind, trying to see if he can get a lap back. Johnny Wood Jr. falls back a little bit. Maybe Bottoms will give him a push here, Andrew. Get him back up there.
Just 3 drivers have won multiple races this season. Gavin Rogers is one of them. He's not here tonight. Mason Houseman is another. The other, as of last week in Martinsville, finally went back to victory lane. It was Johnny Wood Jr. got that 2nd win on the season. He's looking to try and make it 3 here as Mason Houseman looks for 7. 4 laps to go that last time by the stripe. Jason Bottoms sitting right behind this lead battle. You'd think he's racing in 3rd. He's a couple of laps down, just spectating at this point.
Nothing wrong with watching a good fight unfold.
I think he's been given little nudges. I think he gave a little nudge there to the 75, trying to push him up there. Let these guys race. Houseman leaves a little bit of room to the inside that time. 3 laps to go. Johnny Wood Jr. tightens up, falls back.
Just a little bit of room still between the 75 and the 78. They've been the 2 cars out front to beat this entire time. Jason Bottom closes in. Johnny Wood Jr. in the wall. 2 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Only 2/10 separating these top 2 cars. Now, Jason Bottoms moves to the outside. I don't know if I would have made that move as a lap car because that's going to hold up Johnny Wood Jr. Falls back even further. And now, a car between the 2 leaders. Bottoms to the outside again. Maybe he'll pass up Houseman, slow him up a little bit, really affect this fight for the championship. Never mind, he stays behind. White flag in the air, presented by Whiplash Simcams.
One last lap here this season in the BRB Racing League. The Buttkicker Cup Series and the Buttkicker 300 are coming down to this last trip down the back straightaway. Mason Houseman with the race lead. Jason Bottoms to the inside. He's a lapped car, making himself known, though, for sure at the end. Houseman lets the 57 go by, and for the season championship, Mason Houseman is going to go to victory lane at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations are due to the 78 car of Mason Houseman. 7 wins on the season. That's a number that's rarely matched even in the NASCAR Cup Series with twice the amount of races. 7 wins with this 7th one this evening.
What a performance.
Unbelievable season for Mason Houseman. And can you believe it? At the beginning of the chase, he didn't think he'd be racing here for a championship. Thought he was going to have to bail. Thought he was going to have other obligations. Well, he made the choice, made the decision to stick with the series and fight for the title. And what do you know? He is the season champion. What a decision that was.
Just for a little bit of quick math here, Andrew. 7 wins in 18 races. Mason Houseman won just shy, and I mean just shy, of 40% of all the races run this season.
Triumph is a word that comes to mind for the 78 car this season. You see the 3-wide picture they're setting up here on the front stretch for Limitless Esports. What a job well done by them. Richard Wolsover comes home 7th, Carl Pooler 8th. What a picture that is.
What a shot right there.
Unbelievable scenes here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They'll burn it down as a team, all in appreciation of what this man has done. Mason Houseman, the race winner and the season champion of the BRB Racing League Buttkicker Cup Series. I want to mention, by the way, Dakota Camper fought back to 3rd place by the end of it.
Oh, wow. Oh, so he made it by Adam Buzzio.
Yes, he did. He got back by Buzzio there at the end. Let's go back and take a look at the unofficial race results here in just one moment. This is going to be a doozy, and then we'll talk to our season champion and more. With the race win, Mason Houseman out front of them all by 3/10 at the end. He keeps the championship over Johnny Wood Jr. Dakota Camper fights back to 3rd. Adam Buzzio 4th. Brendan Maddox 5th. Then Jared Hughes and Richard Wolsover and Carl Pooler round down a bunch of chase competitors in the top 10. Nicholas Renner there in 9th. Zachary Maddox in 10th.
And then only 6 other cars left on the field for this 300-mile race. Evan Patinko and Jamie Plord end up 11th and 12th. Stephen Borbell was able to fight back and get at least one of those laps back, but with a caution-free race for the most part, minus really one incident, he was left mired laps down throughout the entirety of the race. Cody Dorsey, Dakota Bly, and Jason Bottoms round out the rest of your field. And Andrew, after all is said and done, after this entire season, now, for what is the final time tonight for interviews, we have a champion to talk to.
That we do. We've already spoken with him once. Mason Houseman able to celebrate with a championship and a race win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It came down to the end as far as the race win, but you had it after stage 2. You're our champion here in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. How astounding does that sound to hear from my voice? I mean, that's got to just make everything worth it.
Oh, it feels great. You know, I put off the college series to see if I can come here and win a championship. So now it makes me feel better that I chose the right decision to come here and win a championship. And you know, it was fun to the end. You know, Johnny gave me a heck of a race. You know, he was always right there. That stage 3, it was getting tight. I was like, oh shoot, he's getting some speed, because I wanted to go for the Grand Slam to get the pole, win both stages, and win the race. But so I feel happy for a way to end it.
Talking about that decision and the decision to stay with the BRB Racing League and not run the college series, at least here to get things started in the fall of 2024, why ultimately did you choose to stick with it other than the opportunity to win the championship?
Well, it was kind of, I felt like if I would have left when I wow, hold up. I feel like if I would have left when I was in the contingency to win the championship, it would have just hurt it would have just hurt me. You know, the college series is one thing, but trying to race with the guys that you know and you love racing with, that's one thing, to go out there and stay with them and stick with it. And you know, it just feels good to know that I chose the right decision to stick here with these boys and race.
Definitely the right decision, I would say. Mason, it's good to talk to you one more time before the season ends. Congratulations to you and Limitless Esports on wrapping up this championship with strength. Good to talk to you. Congratulations. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, and I wanna shout out you guys. You guys came here half the season. You guys put on a great product. You know, you made us look even better, get us more attraction, and made us so we could have a good race out there and have a good broadcast, and so people could watch it. I want to thank my friends and family for watching the race. Love you guys. I want to thank Limitless. You know, we had a good season together, and we might not be there next season with each other, but it was great to be able to race with them this season. And I want to, like I said, I want to thank Rev as well. You know, he's been here throughout the season. I want to thank the admins for helping us put on a great season, and hopefully even better next. So I want to go out and say thank you to everybody who has been here, sticking with us, and have fun with the new guys that are coming in now.
So many to thank for Mason Houseman and his championship here in the BRB Racing League. Thank you, Mason, for your time. Congratulations, and celebrate this one.
Thank you, Bruce.
We'll move on down the line to second place in the race, and second place in the championship, Zach. It's Johnny Wood Jr.
Just coming up a little bit short. You didn't get the stage points you needed throughout the night, and you managed to continue to hold on to second place. Johnny, tell us about how it is with your race and just coming up one spot short in that championship fight.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I guess he took 4. I'm assuming I took 2 tires at the very last stop, and just got all the way to the end in the dirty air, mixed with the shot inside tires. Just couldn't really get to him. Hell, he would have pulled away a little further if Jason wasn't kind of keeping me in the game a little bit there.
Well, you certainly stayed in the game as long as you potentially could have. Even on 2 tires, which Andrew and I were absolutely shocked about, you taking 2 tires. That flabbergasted us because we didn't expect to see the pace out of you on 2 tires compared to the guys on 4 tires. I mean, what was going through your head when you made that call? Do you think you just need to do something to offset the leaders and maybe get yourself out there and get some track position? Or were you just thinking, heck, it doesn't hurt to try it?
No, I old league, I pulled a win off at Indianapolis doing the 2 tire stop, and I found that like initial 7 to 12 laps with 4 tires, it's a little tight, but then if you were to have old worn out left sides, throw the new ones on the right, you get, a little loose, so it frees up the car a little bit. I tested it in practice to see what kind of laps compared to the old laps, and with 2 tires it became faster as the track laid rubber. So I figured taking 2 would work, but I was trying to save fuel all through the race, especially on that last stint. That way I can run all the fuel out and minimize the laps that I have to run on the 2 tires. But I just didn't get it. It just didn't work out that way.
Well, you still put up an amazing fight. Brought it home P2 in the race, P2 in the championship. You made it look easy from up here, I will say, because with everything going on the racetrack, you still managed to stay in it. So congratulations again on your second place finish in the race, and congratulations on a season well run.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And with No Dakota Camper in the Discord this evening, we'll walk down and grab 4th place finishing Adam Buzzio, 3rd place in the championship. Adam, 5 laps led there on that long green flag run in stage 3. Is there anything else you could have done to try and get this race win?
To get the win, man, no, I don't think so. Tried to short pit a little there, and it worked out for a while, but obviously the tire differential was pretty big at the end. Camper was able to get by me too. Mason actually just talked to me. He's like, "How did you make those tires last as long as you did?" I said, "I don't know, man." That's what I focused on though in practice, was the long run. So I'm really happy that we had so many long runs tonight. I know it might not have been as spicy as we would have liked, but yeah, the long runs were super fun. I think the best cars kind of rose to the top at the end of the night. So I don't think there's anything else we could have done to win, man. I was pretty much as aggressive as I could have been without getting myself in trouble. So I think Mason and Johnny were just faster tonight.
A very clean and green race, just one caution for incident. As a league owner, looking back on this full season, you've got to feel happy, right?
Yeah, man, honestly, it's obviously, I don't have to tell you guys how much work goes into these leagues, especially trying to run what I would like to consider a good one. From season 1 to now, it's just such a difference in where we're at and in where we're going. We already, last season, I think we were going into season 2 with 10 or 11 guys, and we had to really recruit really heavily. We didn't know where our sponsorships were going to be. There were a couple other things that got fried towards the end of the off season that were issues we had to deal with. And going into season 3, I think we're at 23 full-time guys, and some part-time guys, and we'll recruit during the off season. So I tell these guys all the time, man, we have such a great group of people here. A lot of us has met in real life and gotten to know each other really well. So I'm just fortunate that I can be a part of it and do my part to keep making it better.
Well, Adam, I'm glad we were able to salvage what we could on our side to be here for the end of this one, for the end of the season, and cap things off with you guys on a high note here for season number 2. Thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do for the BRB Racing League, and hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
I hope so too, man. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for, I know that was probably a lot of work on your end trying to get everything back up and running, so I appreciate you sticking with it for us.
Absolutely. Dedication is the name of the game here. Thanks for what you do. And again, hopefully we're talking to you soon. That's Adam Buzzio, 3rd place in the championship. Zach, 4th place on the racetrack, as you see the pass there and the replay in the background. But we do actually have Dakota Camper, so we'll hand him down to you. Dakota Camper, 3rd place this evening in car number 3. Had a wild ride.
Yeah, Dakota absolutely just was all over when it came to the pit strategy. Dakota, you stayed out really the longest out of anybody, but you benefited the most. You stayed inside the top 10, and you rallied back to a 3rd place finish. How about you tell us about it a little bit?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Charlotte's my favorite track, and I was really hoping to get a top 3 to be able to talk to you guys today. And yeah, the pit strategy, I was trying to run long. I took a extra set of tires under that caution and drove back to the front. And was just hoping that I was going to have enough time, but I just probably should have pitted a little earlier so I wasn't so far back. But yeah, it was a good run to get back to 3rd and made a couple really good passes there at the end to get there.
That you did. You were able to put yourself up. I know Andrew and I didn't necessarily cover your passes, but we definitely were talking about them as you're making your way up through the field. The tire strategy is just pretty much the big thing that we discussed the entire time, and I think we can all agree here that Charlotte is our favorite track. But I do have to ask, do you think you would have benefited better if you pitted with everybody else, or do you think staying out was the right move to make?
Mason was fast. I don't think I was going to beat him. Here in the 75, his taking 2 tires, that was a pretty good strategy. So that was probably another reason that I didn't catch him. But I think that my strategy was the right strategy for me. It was just that I probably should have pitted a few laps earlier, so I was 3-4 seconds closer.
Well, at the end of the day, you still brought it home for a 3rd place finish. You were able to put that car right where it needed to be, when it needed to be there, and still, it's going to be a solid points day for you. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish, and congratulations on a great season.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've been racing with these guys for a while. They had another league, and I raced with it. I never got a top 3. This is my first top 3 in this league, and so it feels good. These guys are super talented. They run a good league. Adam's a great admin. Rev, one of the best race control. You guys do a great job up in the booth. I love watching it back, and yeah, I just got to give a big shout out to my dad. who's it's Pastor Appreciation Day this coming Sunday, and he's on the hood of my car, so that's always fun to get pop out on the hood of the car for because he's pastor of our church. So thank him for all he does for us, and let's have a good season next year. I'll be back.
Looking forward to it. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
That was your third place finisher on the night, Dakota Camper, and I love the enthusiasm from these guys, Andrew. They make racing so much better when they show that kind of enthusiasm.
That they do. It's good to talk to them at the end of the day for sure. But that will do it for us this evening from the Charlotte Motor Speedway and for the season for the BRB Racing League and the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. It's been a fun one for sure. A fun 9 races now that we've covered, I believe, from Indianapolis on through to the end here. It has been a pleasure for sure. I want to take a look, though, at what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV. Next up, we head out to Daytona. Tomorrow night, we head to Daytona for the Sim Rap Market Series season opener on October 9th. Then Sunday, we're right back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway under the sun for the Roval in the Icon Cup Series. And Tuesday, next week, we're out to Myrtle Beach with the Sarah 1-8 Racing Media National Tour. Late model stock cars at Myrtle Beach should be a fun time, Zach, and there's plenty of places to watch.
That there is, Andrew. PitStopTV.com, Facebook.com/PitStopTV, Instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, Twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, YouTube.com/pitstoptv1, and X.com/pitstoptv_. So many great places to follow along with Pit Stop TV and see all of the great stuff we have going on here, especially that beautiful looking late model from Cody Williams Design. I don't know what it is, Andrew, but I'm a big fan of black and yellow. You know that for a fact, but I can't get over that yellow and silver. It looks beautiful.
I'm partial to the metallic blue, but the metallic silver is very nice as well. Cody Williams Design has done a great job for us here at Pit Stop TV. We appreciate him and everything he does. Want to give a big shout out as well to Whiplash SimCams, ETVO, and CC's Business, helping us get to and from the virtual racetrack week in, week out, day out here at Pit Stop TV. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, it's been a pleasure. Zach, thanks for being here for the majority of the season. It's been a fantastic time, as always. From Indianapolis way back in August now to Charlotte here in October. What a season it has been for us with Pit Stop TV. And a shout out as well to Extreme Sim TV for carrying the initial portion of the season for the BRB Racing League. Doing a fantastic job on Tuesday nights for them in the first portion of the season. Glad to have taken over. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to have done so and hope we've made the most of it in the time that we've been here. Thanks to everybody. We'll see you all next time here at Pit Stop TV. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night for the Sim Rap Market Series from Daytona.